You know, like like you say, like a lot of people get degrees in these countries where they can't do anything with it here besides share it. What else are you going to do? It's you show what you've learned and how you interpret it. And a lot of people have a lot of interesting ways of viewing the world. So
yes,
they become creators. And there's nothing more special than creating something. There's also the case of the people who come here to pursue college. You know, a lot of people move from other countries to pursue college, like in this country. And they become very disappointed with the reality that, first of all, college is very expensive. And you have to invest money into it. It's not like back in the 1970s, 1980s, when you could like work during a summer and pay off your college yourself. You can't do that anymore.
Those are the dreams we got sold to.
Exactly.
They really sold those ideas.
They really did.
We're all here pretty much pursuing that.
And when we say they, we mean our parents, our guardians, our teachers.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
The people who raised us.
The people who put us in this situation.
Yeah. You go to school and you're taught that, hey, like if you do well in school, if you really learn your stuff, you can do anything that you want to do. You can get into all these amazing schools. You can get into all these amazing programs. You can learn whatever it is that you want to do, and you can get into college where you're going to have the most amazing life learning all of these obscure things that you wouldn't learn anywhere else, and then graduate with a degree in archaeology or something. I don't know. And then you can't find a job in your field. And you realize
that's a very wide. That's a very wide. But
no, it's also as like the world changes. You're not going to be doing the same careers necessarily that were around 100, 200 years ago. So it's like, and sometimes
Space Force.
Yeah, oh my god,
Danny, if you're listening to this, good luck in Space Force.
Good luck, man. Fight for us. But yeah, no, people get too stuck on some of those and on the past and like the factory jobs.
Mm-hmm.
We have better technology now that can do that. It's better to go into fields that have not been created yet, push the norm, push the boundary, rather than going to the options that are already presented. And it's like staying within your comfort, not trying to improve in any which type of way.
So what about the people that are going to get left behind on that?
I mean, there's a lot of people that are doing it, but I'm just saying there is still a large majority that
they are getting left behind.
Yeah.
We have to be clear on that. They are getting left behind.
But it's like...
Is it
what's an
natural order?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as to call it that. I don't think it seems fair to call it that. I think that everyone deserves the same opportunities as anybody else. I think that we should all have access to education. We should all have access to...
that in itself, yes.
Okay, but taking away that factor, not everybody is adapting to these new times.
This is true. This is very true, but it's incredibly difficult to adapt to.
Yeah, I know it's hard to put it on those.
Yeah, it's like there's a certain element of like suffering that really forces you to grow up.
Yes,
it really forces you to adapt to the world around you, knowing that like, hey, maybe I don't want to be doing this right now, but what I'm doing will somehow help me pursue what I want to do. And you should always use something as a stepping stone. So never go backwards, always go forward. Whatever you can do, like, you got to take risks. Because if you don't, then you're never going to get what you want. Like, you might still not get what you want, but you have a better chance of getting what you want if you really, really put everything into it. So,
Preach.
What are some examples that you guys have been noticing, like, I don't know, say in the past year, of your own examples of situations to cognitive dissonance?
Well, regarding cognitive dissonance,
yeah,
it's I will say being a hardcore user of social media, that really triggers the comparison factor. That it really, really, really triggers it. So knowing the people here in Miami, how they are, the common factor that I find in what they perceive about the people surrounding them is they are fake. Everybody feels everybody else is fake in a way.
There's no genuineness behind
exactly
the simple or the big things.
So for me, that's the most hardcore example of cognitive dissonance, because we all want to be connected. We really want to be connected.
or we say we do.
We need to.
That's the reality.
It's we need it, but at the same time, we are really untrustworthy. So what's a solution for that?
Also, the disconnection between what we think, what we say, and what we do, like everyone within themselves.
I mean, it's
There's a large majority.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in everything that you do, but I'm sure there's moments in everyone's life when they've thought one thing, they've said another thing, and they've done another thing. It's.
I mean, we see it every day. Like, I feel like the biggest example that I can give right now is like, so I follow a lot of really spiritual pages on Instagram, like stuff about numerology and all that fun stuff I'm interested in. But not weird at all. But it's interesting how they promote the idea that social media is not good for the world and that it's kind of ruining the world and stuff. And
in the most cynical way, because you're consuming it through social media.
And then here they are promoting their stuff on social media. Like, if they didn't have social media, how would they be promoting this stuff? You know? And I still really appreciate those pages because you never know, like, what you're going to read, and it vastly improves your day or it makes you think in a different way. But there is definitely a negative aspect to social media.
The way I cheat myself into that, because I really want to see that what's the purpose of social media? To connect. Mm-hmm. That's what we want. Okay, so based from that idea, where is the distortion in this idea? The distortion is in ads and in fake stuff.
Yeah,
it's in fake stuff.
Fake news.
So, wow. Whenever we start,
Eric is wearing his "Make America Great Again" hat.
Mexi again.
Make America Mexi again?
Yes. Make Venezuela great again. Okay.
I can stand behind that one.
So coming back to the idea of what we consume on social media is fake. What do these pages do, these numerology pages, these woke pages? Do they call it out? They call out that bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So what they promote is the healthy use of social media. So what could be the healthy use of social media? Just clean up your feed and just put there the things that are going to nourish the best parts of you. Okay, that's the goal. That's the self-deception we are making for ourselves in order to keep consuming social media. If you don't want to get out of it,
I mean,
that's the hack of it.
That's what I want to say. It's just like about having a healthy balance towards it. It's very easy to go from one extreme to another extreme in anything in life. It's harder to constantly, in whatever it is, to remain. And to everyone has a different scale and balance. The way you view something, you view it differently as to how I view it, or how you process it is differently to how I process. So it's like, to everyone it's a different skill, but it's about remaining.
I mean, we spend our whole day with the computer in our hand.
No, of course.
Coming from the idea
but it's like about like how, like when you're using it, how you're using
all
it,
the time,
how you process it, how you feel towards it when you don't have it, like everything, and that is different for everyone.
How long does it take you to notice that you don't have your phone?
Depends. It depends on what it is. You know, it depends if I'm home. It depends if I'm with people.
No more than 10 minutes if I'm not watching a movie.
Yeah.
Unless I'm watching a movie, a good TV show.
About the same for me.
It's fewer times now where it'll be a couple, like an hour or more that passes by that I haven't checked my phone. Even if I'm with people, it's very rare for it to be more than an hour that passes by for me.
I think I can confirm that because when you're over, I hardly ever see you check your phone.
And that's why everyone has, their own scale to it, but it's about essentially what is best for each and every person is to, in their own scale, and you have to find out what that is.
Like in the values frame, you mean?
To remain... No, it's just like in anything. Like it's, let's say working out as an example. Working out in itself is good.
Yeah.
Healthy for you, eating well and stuff. But anything can be taken to an extreme. And if you take anything to whichever extreme, taking it to an extreme, it's never good in itself. Working out too much, and especially how you feel mentally towards it, if it's like... You can have it in a way that's positive and you can have it in a way that's negative. Which the action in itself is still the same thing, but how you're going about it, how you're processing it, can be negative or positive.
That's a very good point.
Also about, let's say like you have crazy OCD and you're working out all the time because let's say your OCD is affected to that in some way. Just as an example.
Of course, it's a sense of action.
You're going too much to an extreme, and if you remain in balance into whatever it is in every aspect in your life, that essentially in itself, in my opinion, feels like it would be like...
Yeah, but
ideal for the person to remain perfectly in harmony.
Coming from the place that you are influenced by the top 5 people that you surround yourself with, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much time do you spend with each of these people on a daily basis? Talking in a very tight... Our situation, we live together.
Yeah.
Even living together, how long do we spend a day together? An hour, 2?
Yeah, on a good day, like 4 hours.
Exactly. in the greatest day.
But we work a lot.
Exactly. But even though how much influence can I put in there compared to the influence that your phone are gonna have on you? Because you spend how long do you spend on an hourly basis on your phone?
Yeah, I see where you're going with that.
And the time you spend on your phone, what do you do on it? Good. You are literally just consuming content.
But you have to admit that there's the factor that we also spend a large portion of the day messaging each other.
Yes. We are never not connected.
Exactly.
We are never not connected.
So whether it's with you or with Eric or like my mom.
Memes are not always makes you laugh, and laughing is good.
Memes, how we communicate.
It's how to show your suffering to the world in a way that's funny.
The solution that we are offering here is start by cleaning up your phone. Your Instagram feed, your YouTube feed, all that. Start cleaning it up because that's what's going to be conditioning your subconscious. That's the ultimate solution that we are going to provide from this episode. Clarifying that at the end of the day, there's really not problems. It's just situations, and it's action and reaction. So your actions build your path. So work to build the best of it. How do you do that? Get to know yourself, organize, and take action.
That and act the way you believe.
Yes.
You know, if you believe something, if you wholeheartedly think it, and you talk about it, and you promote it, then live that way. Because if not, then you don't represent yourself.
All right, guys.
I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of Alienados. I know it was a little bit all over the place, but hopefully this will get better with time.
Yes.
Definitely.
All right, guys. See you next week.